Something just shattered in Washington, and Donald Trump is scrambling to pick up the pieces. Right now, a revolt is brewing inside the Republican Senate. A war powers resolution is advancing that could legally rein in the president's military authority. And for the first time, Trump has privately confessed he doesn't know how to stop it. This isn't just another political setback. It's a seismic shift in power unfolding live on Capitol Hill. From hushed hallway confrontations to senators ignoring his calls, the GOP is fracturing from within, and Trump's grip is slipping faster than anyone predicted. Tonight, we're revealing what's really happening behind closed doors, why this rebellion terrifies Trump more than any courtroom drama, and how it might permanently alter the balance of power in American politics. Stay with me, because once you understand this, you'll see everything differently. Donald Trump is losing control. And this time, it's not Democrats pulling the strings. It's his own party. Republican senators are openly defying him. A critical vote looms that could strip him of unilateral war-making power. And insiders say Trump has admitted, off record, that he's out of options. Phones aren't ringing back, tempers are flaring, and influence is evaporating by the hour. This moment began not with a speech, but with silence. The kind that follows when loyalists stop answering your calls. Imagine it. A president pacing in private, dialing senator after senator, only to hear voicemail after voicemail. Why? Because they've decided their survival no longer depends on his approval. At the heart of this crisis is a war powers measure aimed squarely at curbing executive overreach. Trump has long treated military threats as political tools, leveraging fear to rally support, blur accountability, and centralize power. But now, even staunch allies are drawing a line. Because this isn't about one conflict, it's about the entire architecture of Trump's leadership. Act first, justify later, assume Congress will comply, believe Republicans will always choose loyalty over law. That assumption is crumbling. Take Rand Paul. He didn't just oppose escalation in Venezuela, he dismantled the rationale entirely. On national platforms, he asked piercing questions. If drug trafficking justifies bombing a capital, why did Trump pardon a convicted trafficker? If foreign leaders break U.S. laws, does that give us license to invade? Each query chips away at the moral consistency Trump never claimed to have, but desperately needs to maintain. Force without principle is just intimidation in uniform, and it's not stopping there. When Trump floated seizing Greenland, then dodged direct questions about using force against a NATO ally, even conservative media flinched. Allies pushed back. Senators stayed quiet. That silence wasn't neutrality. It was rejection. Because threatening a fellow NATO member isn't strength, it's strategic chaos. And Trump's record shows he accommodates Russia and China when convenient, then invokes them as bogeymen when he needs cover. The contradiction is glaring, and Republicans are noticing. Behind the scenes, Senate leaders aren't confident they can block the war powers vote. That uncertainty isn't procedural, it's existential. It signals that Trump's aura of inevitability is fading. When lawmakers stop fearing consequences for defiance, power shifts, permanently. This erosion extends beyond foreign policy. Congress just rejected nearly all of Trump's proposed science budget cuts. Bipartisan majorities restored funding to NOAA, the National Science Foundation, and basic research. They didn't just say no, they said enough. Why does this matter? Because Trump built his brand on dominance through spectacle. But when institutions push back, not with protests, but with votes, the illusion cracks. And once it cracks, it doesn't heal. Now, ideological debates are resurfacing within MAGA itself. Should America police the world? Should presidents wage war without consent? These aren't abstract questions. They're direct challenges to Trump's worldview, which has no room for restraint, only leverage. And here's what's truly dangerous for him. Republicans are discussing life after Trump, not in whispers, but in strategy sessions. Polls show his endorsement no longer guarantees safety. In some districts, it's a liability. Midterm math is brutal, margins are thin, and self-preservation is winning over blind allegiance. Trump's response? Escalation, intimidation. Late-night calls demanding loyalty. But the recipients aren't junior lawmakers anymore. They're seasoned senators calculating electoral survival. And they're choosing themselves. Hesitation is now kryptonite to authoritarian influence when reporters ask, "How will you vote?" And senators pause. That pause speaks louder than any speech. Because Trump's currency has always been control, and control requires certainty. But uncertainty is spreading like wildfire through GOP ranks. This isn't just about one resolution, it's a referendum on whether the Republican Party still belongs to Trump or if it's reclaiming its institutional soul. Senate leadership scrambles with procedural delays, not because they're confident, but because they dread the symbolism of a public defeat. A successful override would mark one of the clearest congressional rebukes of presidential power in decades, and Trump knows it. That's why he rages at defectors, not over policy, but over momentum. Because numbers matter less than perception, and perception is turning. Watch figures like Todd Young or Josh Hawley. Their power lies not in what they say, but in what they withhold. Clear commitments. By staying silent, they force Trump into limbo, wondering, guessing, reacting. And reaction is the language of decline. Loyalty enforced by fear dies when self-interest wakes up. Trump doesn't build coalitions. He demands fealty. But fealty fades when fear no longer outweighs consequence. And right now, consequence is winning. Each bipartisan override on budgets, science, oversight erodes the myth of Trump as an unstoppable force. In its place emerges a new narrative, Trump as a declining asset. And that narrative invites calculation. Calculation invites defection. Defection invites collapse. Meanwhile, MAGA's internal fractures widen. Can a movement built on personality survive ideological scrutiny? Can it reconcile isolationist roots with interventionist impulses? Trump offers no answers, only threats. And threats don't sustain movements. So he doubles down on noise, provocative headlines, vague military hints, performative bluster. But noise no longer shields him. Lawmakers now distinguish spectacle from substance, and substance is absent. This psychological unraveling is accelerating because the core question can no longer be ignored. What comes after Trump? Once that question enters the room, it never leaves. It reshapes decisions, alliances, and ambitions. Power doesn't vanish overnight. It erodes quietly, then all at once. And this Senate revolt feels like the tipping point. Trump isn't shaping the future anymore. He's chasing it. And chasing is the posture of someone who's already lost. If you found this breakdown revealing, please like and subscribe to Winds of Thought. We cut through the noise so you don't have to.